What is going on? It's your guy Trey Lover from Love and Fashion, the GEL Council, with another episode of Voices of Sickle Cell. And we are here with Dana White, Dana White for short, superstar mogul, and a young woman making a difference using her voice to bring awareness in the sickle cell community. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a little cold outside, but other than that, I'm okay.
All right, all right. So, guys, for those who don't know, people with sickle cell, we do not like the cold too much. We don't thrive in the cold. You might not see us outside making snowmen or having snowball fights because the cold is a way of exacerbating a sickle cell crisis. So, if you see that we don't want to come outside in the wintertime, please understand we're not trying to be distant from you. We're just trying to take care of our health, all right? So, to get this show started, I want you to start out by telling the world about you. What makes you you? What keeps you going? What keeps you thriving? What has life been for you, and what does life mean to you?
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm still trying to figure out who I am as a person, but I do know that I am authentic and I try to show that in every possible way. I just recently did a short film with Music Brings Life.
Hey, Jordana, are you feeling any better?
No, I'm not.
No, did they come in to take an X-ray already?
No, they
And
did
it's
not.
called Students Are Heroes. And you could find it on musicbringslife.org. But basically, it's a story about a young girl in high school who is basically in a sickle cell crisis and she needs blood. But unfortunately, the black and brown community don't donate blood as frequently. So it's becoming a hard time for them to find blood that specifically matches her genotype, and basically it's like a race against time. As will she get the blood, will she not get the blood? And doing that film really, um made an impact on my life because I was able to share my story. I was able to have people have an receive an insight on what it's like to be a young woman or a young adult living with sickle cell and the challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis. And I really enjoy doing the film. Um, Other than that, I'm trying to create content and just, show everybody what it's like for a young woman just to live her day-to-day life with sickle cell. I do everything everybody else does. Some things are limited, but I do have a life of my own, and I am just trying to create insight on what it's like to have sickle cell. And although I may have this disorder, it doesn't stop me from being a regular person.
Oh, wow, wow. Well, I want to take a quick moment to say this, guys. I have watched a couple films that talk about sickle cell and what some of the complexities are living with sickle cell. And honestly speaking, most of the time they do a poor job. The message behind it isn't fantastic, or the show that I'm watching isn't that great, but I do applaud them for still bringing awareness to the cause. But I have to say, the film that she acted in by Music Brings Life, it is one of the best films I have seen that brings attention and awareness to sickle cell disease. So if you're not familiar with it, we're going to make sure we tag it. We're going to make sure we probably show a clip or something so you guys can see. And this young lady, Dana White, she did a fantastic job. And I can't even say it's acting. I feel like it's just embodying the role because with her having the experience of actually dealing with it, when she was able to portray that role and really speak about what it's like living with sickle cell, I don't feel like I was ever represented so much as an individual to the struggles that we go through. So if you guys want to know what it's like to live with sickle cell, go watch that film. Say the name of the film one more time.
Students are heroes.
Students are heroes. Love that. Love that. Now, your story about overcoming adversity, overcoming sickle cell, still finding out who you are. It's led to a lot of people, and I've been asking myself too. But what do you think your life would be like without sickle cell? Can you contemplate a world like that?
Oh, I'd be unstoppable. Like I'm already unstoppable, but I would literally be unstoppable. But I feel like everybody has a little flair to them, a little something that makes them them. And I wouldn't say that sickle cell makes me, but it is a part of who I am and it makes me different. And it shows how I could overcome. Regardless of all the other things that go on in my life, I feel like sickle cell is the main thing that, holds me back, but I'm not too far behind.
There we
I'm not
go.
too far.
Now, if I'm correct, I know you're still studying. I believe you're still working. You're doing a lot of different things. Can you tell us about just some of the accomplishments that you've still been able to achieve besides your film that sickle cell may have stopped other people, but it just can't stop you?
I got my high school diploma. I
Y'all better clap for that because no, everybody's graduating school. So I hope whoever's watching this is
Not
making some noise.
everybody's graduating school. Yeah,
Let's
it took
go.
me a little while. I had to, go into taking online classes, but I got it. I graduated probably 4 years after my peers, if I were to have been in school. But I got it. I took phlebotomy classes. I am not certified, but I did take phlebotomy classes. I just have to take the exam, and I will be certified. Um, Currently, I'm working as a DSP, that's a direct support professional, and I work with adults with autism. And currently, I am taking classes to be a community health worker.
Where you come into my field, community health work, you be helping saving the world. I love that. Let's go. It's such a wonderful thing when people of a certain spectrum are able to give back and help out because people don't understand us. We go through all the time. We hear stigmas all the time. And like you said just now, you can studying to be a phlebotomist and you're gonna pass that exam. I already know it. But you being a warrior with sickle cell and comprehending that we might not be the easier stick. We need people like you in there. I don't know if you've seen one of my last videos where I mentioned I got over 19 sticks before. They have attempted to give me an IV at least 19 times and have been completely unsuccessful. Before I got my IV, but then people in the comments, including some that stated they're nurses, they literally called me a liar and said there's no way it took me 19 sticks. So we
Yeah, I
need,
saw it.
yeah, and it was an atrocity what people were speaking, and it's great to have people like you who comprehend what it is that we go through, so you can give us a better standard of care. Now, your accomplishments are fantastic. Congratulations. I didn't get to do college myself. My life was a bit different, being a man and taking care of certain things. But hearing you going through these accomplishments and not letting it stop you, I hope that other warriors, other individuals who have sickle cell comprehend that no matter what you're going through, as long as you don't give up, you can make anything possible. Now, sickle cell limitations, they suck. And we have a few limitations, things, certain things we know that are triggers, certain things
Hmm.
that we just try to avoid, like we mentioned the code earlier. What about you? Are you familiar with your triggers, or what are some of your limitations that you have?
uh Limitations that I have: I definitely cannot get in a pool if it's not heated. I do not go to the beach to get in the water. It's too cold for me. I can't do it. Automatic crisis for me right there. The cold, I wear layers upon layers upon layers. Like, I me and the cold do not get along at all, as for most people with sickle cell. Uh I can't overwork myself. If I feel myself getting to the point where I'm drained, I just have to take a pause, because I know that a crisis is probably coming pretty soon. Um Again, I'm tired very easily. I'm always taking naps, and I love the way that my schedule is now, because I love me a nap. If I could be a nap, I'd be a nap. Like, I know that I need to sleep to gain my energy back, because us being anemic, we're always tired. But regardless, we still push through. So those are my limitations. There are probably more that I still haven't recognized, but I'm 24. I'll get there. I'll get there.
So I'm gonna use this moment to cut joke on myself, right? So people who know me when we go out, almost everywhere we go, including parties, they know me as the guy who's always gonna go to the corner and take a nap. And back in the days when I used to drink alcohol, they would always say, "Oh, Trey, you're drunk." I don't drink alcohol anymore, and I still sleep inside the clubs. So everyone watching this video, do comprehend that we do get tired. Our blood doesn't carry enough water and oxygen like some of your blood do. Our blood might not doesn't live 120 days like most individuals do. Our blood only lives like 20 days. Our blood is weaker, and that causes us to get more tired at times. So please be mindful that when we're tired, no, we're not lazy. We just have to catch up. A little nap might make a big difference for us. Now,
Mhm.
for today's topic, we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, one that I'm so glad to have you here on the phone with us. Because I've
Mhm.
interviewed several men thus far, but I wanted this topic to be a young woman, someone who we can have a difference in what it is that we go through, something that I don't know anything about. But for you as a young woman, dealing with
Yes.
relationships, dealing with sexual life, I don't know if you're started yet or what's going on, but just dealing with everything that we have to go through. As a man, it sucks, but I can never comprehend what it is that women have to go through. So, are there certain things that being a young woman with sickle cell just differs from what it is being a man that might have sickle cell?
Ooh, I don't want to get emotional, but it's hard. I don't know from a man's standpoint, like you said, but okay, this last instance. So I live alone and I have kids. Now, I knew I was going into a crisis. And before I left, I have cameras in the house to watch him. Before I knew I was going into the hospital, I made sure his water was full. I put as much food out that I possibly could have, but still needed somebody to go check on him. I was in the hospital for a week. And I literally had to find three different people. I knew them. We have a good rapport with each other, but I literally had to find three different people to go and feed my cat. And I was dealing with somebody, and they weren't there for me when I reached out to them for them to go and feed my cat, and it just gave me a little eye opener as to like I can't be with somebody that doesn't understand that I have sickle cell and I can't be everywhere all at once. I'm going to be in the hospital and I need somebody that's going to be there for me to help me when I need help. Like these people came up to the hospital to get my house keys. Never been to my house before. Came to the hospital, get my house keys and to go feed my cat. Like this is my baby. I don't have an actual human baby, but this is my baby. This is like my emotional support animal. And the simple fact, and I said this to them, the simple fact that I could have three different people come to my house and the person that I'm basically giving my body to in a sense can't be there for me, that's crazy. And it really hurt my feelings. It gave me an insight on just me knowing, needing to know that I need to value myself more as a woman and not deal with people that can't be there for me in my time of need. That probably happened like about 2 weeks ago, so it's still a little fresh to me. It's still a little, still hurts, but yeah, that it's a lot. It's a lot. But
Uh,
yeah, like I feel like I guess you could say I don't feel like I've ever really had a actual stable relationship. I've had sexual partners, but an actual stable relationship, I don't feel like I've ever had that. And I could say that I feel like I had my mother and father growing up in my life, but for some reason, Caribbean men don't really know how to show love in the physical sense. And I feel like I went looking for that in other people when I just needed to learn to love myself. And I'm still learning. I literally just said I'm still trying to figure out who I am. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Like I'm aware of it and I know and I just, I need to work on me before I need to love myself first before anybody could ever love me. Because if I don't love myself, who's gonna love me? So that's where I am right now in life in regards to relationships.
Hey, first thing I'm gonna say is I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's horrible that somebody can want you mentally, want you physically, but then they can't be there to support you in a loving way and be there when you need them the most. It's horrible for anyone to go through that, and you deserve better. Everyone deserves better. And hopefully, you're one of the smart ones who cut it out real quick and let that, because if they're not willing to be there at the lowest moments, then they're not really serious about you. And you deserve better. I mean, guys, look at her. Beautiful young lady in school, doing her thing, got her own place, working. Come on. We can't, that's his loss. I understand that. But I'm going to say one thing, though. Not all West Indian men are bad. You know that, right? Some of us is pretty good. We get some good West Indian men out
I
there, you
know
know?
for sure, for sure. My father, absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I just feel like it's just like because they didn't get that love, that affection from their parents, they don't know how to show it. Like my father used to sleep in the hospital with me, spend the night, like go to work, come from work, come spend the night, sleep in that horrible chair, just to be with his daughter to make sure his daughter was getting the treatment that she deserved, for sure. But it's just that lack of affection. Because I still till this day, like I'm an affectionate. I love to show love. Like I tell my friends I love you, and they be like, ugh, like it's. But I love to show love, and I feel like because I didn't get that, I feel like it probably it caused an impact on me. But I do not blame him at all whatsoever. It's just life.
It's just life and one day at a time.
Hmm.
Hey guys, I just want to take a quick moment, really quick, while we're here and we're having this fantastic interview with Dana White. But I want to take a moment to shout out some of our sponsors like Hospital Hostage Helpline. This is a great organization where if you're in the hospital and you're going through something and you need help and support, I'm going to tag the number below, but contact them. They're helping patients navigate through the medical system. They started around COVID time when patients were being treated badly with COVID, but the journey didn't stop there. They saw that people still needed help. This program is started by Laura Bartlett, and they have a fantastic form that I'm actually going to be sharing with the sickle cell community really soon. That they've already been using in other communities, but this is a document that you take with you to the hospital and you serve it to your doctors and you serve it to your care providers. And they know exactly what your standard of care is. They know how to treat you. You don't have to repeat yourself and let them know what medication you need because they've been served and put a notice on how to properly make sure you were given great care. And from the feedback we've seen so far, patients who have used it, their standard of care has increased so much. So make sure you guys check out Hospital Hostage Helpline and get the care and support that you need. We also want to bring awareness to the New York Blood Center. There's a national blood shortage right now, and patients dealing with sickle cell and so many other backgrounds can use your help. They need you to donate blood. Donating blood can save three different lives. Because when you donate blood, not only do they get the blood, they get the plasma and they also get the platelets, and each part can help save somebody else's life. So if you have not donated blood, click on our link. With our link, you can choose a location that's close to you, choose a date and time that's convenient to you, and go donate blood at any time. You don't have to wait for an event to donate blood. You can just do it on your free time, all right? So make sure you guys check out the New York Blood Center and look below for our link and go donate blood because you might save my life one day. You heard? We need you. We're about to get personal, okay? You okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
All right. So I've talked to some of you ladies, and this is already a private topic that some ladies don't like to talk about. But I've been told that sometimes when you go through your monthly, that it can lead you
Hmm.
to going into a crisis because of the extra loss of blood and maybe more pain. That's something I can't talk to you about. So please let us know because I feel like for men dealing with somebody that has sickle cell, we need to comprehend what it's like for what you're going through. So at our time to need, we can help you out. And just for anybody out there, friends or family, they might see you going through it. But also for young ladies who are maturing into the age where they're gonna start going through this, they 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 might need some insight of what they can do when going through it. So if you don't mind sharing your experience and what they can do or what to expect, um, yeah.
Yes. So that is definitely true. Sometimes when I get my cycle, it brings on a sickle cell crisis. I'm able to, I get back pain. I don't really necessarily get cramps, but I get back pain, and I'm able to differentiate the back pain from my cycle versus back pain versus sickle cell. I have noticed that naproxen does help me when it's around the time of my cycle, but I'm not sure if it's like I'm more emotional than other women when it's like my cycle comes on, but I do notice that I start crying a lot more. I really just want to be alone. The first day is usually the worst for me. That's when I have the most pain. My heat pad helps me. I just, really, when it's around that time, I really just want to stay home and not do anything. I try to stay as hydrated as possible, but God forbid it does get to the point where I do end up in a hospital. I just, if it gets bad to the point where I feel like I need to go to the hospital, I'm going to the hospital. Like, I feel like in my experience, it's not where um doctors are, confused as to why I end up in the hospital. They do know that, um being on your cycle can bring on a crisis. So I feel like I'm grateful for that, and I get the help that I need, and that I'm on my merry way. But it is a lot. Like, it's like you got to go through having a period basically every month until you reach menopause. So it's like it got to the point where at one point in time I was going to the hospital every month, and it was usually around the time where I was having my period, because it was a lot for me. It was a lot for me, and if I couldn't imagine, being somebody that has PCOS or endometriosis and sickle cell, because my goodness, I couldn't imagine that. It's a lot.
You
But of
said
course, we're going to
PCOS.
have to learn.
I'm sorry.
PCOS, I
Yeah.
forgot what it stands for.
All right, don't worry. We'll we'll
Yes.
we'll we'll get the answer, and we'll tag it below so people can read that, because I'm not familiar with those terminologies. But I'm sorry for interrupting you. Yeah.
No problem. But yeah, no, I just want to get to the point where I'm able to know and how to deal with when it gets to the point of my period, and to avoid going in the hospital, because nobody wants to be in the hospital. And if I couldn't speak for the people that do want to be in the hospital, but nobody wants to be in the hospital and having basically their daily lives shifted, because you go in the hospital, you're not feeling well. You get out the hospital, you're still not feeling well. You got to basically learn how to do everything all over again. Usually, for me, the day after I get out of the hospital is the worst, because I was lying down in the hospital bed for God knows how many days. My body's not used to me walking around. My body's not used to me standing up in the shower. My body's not used to me standing at the sink washing the dishes. And it's like my heart just beats so fast to the point where I feel like I'm weak and I'm going to pass out. I don't learn how to do everything all over again. I can't just walk to the corner store and be good. Like, I will feel like I'm literally about to pass out on the street, because my body has been idle for so long. I got to learn how to do everything all over again. And then, depending on whatever hospital you go to, the way they administer the pain medication, if it's IM, you're getting it in your arms, you're getting it in your thighs, you're getting it gets sore. Your body gets sore after. It's like basically you getting the flu shot over and over and over. I get my medication every 4 hours. I'm getting stuck every 4 hours. My thighs are sore. My arms are sore. Like, and then to have to deal with that, even lifting my arm to wash under my arm or put on deodorant, it hurts. My body has to rejuvenate. My body has to get back to normal. It's a lot. So sickle cell patients don't just want to be in the hospital. It actually puts us back being in the hospital. It's not just you get out the hospital and you're back to, no, it's not like that.
And you know what?
So,
That is so true. They feel like, all right, you're at the hospital, you're good now. No, I came out the hospital around a week and a half ago. My legs are still hurting. All right, my legs are still in pain, and like you said, I was getting a lot of IM and subcutaneous, and that's probably why my legs
mhm,
are still sore. Because normally I get an IV and they treat me and I'm okay, but this time it was just straight
right.
into the legs, and I've never had to do that before. This time they
Mhm.
didn't. My legs are still recovering almost 2 weeks after. I haven't been back to work. I haven't hit the gym really. So people don't comprehend that it doesn't stop because we go home. We wish it did. Sure, trust me. We don't want to go to the hospital and we want to go home with the pain, but we have to rebuild all that strength from being down for such a long period of time. And people think it's a 1-2 thing. It's not a 1-2 thing. The recovery process takes time. And for you young ladies who might get hospitalized every month because you also have a cycle and then still have to recover, there's a lot behind that. And having great emotional support is so key, it's so important. And having a loved one to be a part of that and comprehending that is so vital. Um, Me as a young man, having a woman here with me who has to comprehend that, hey, cooking or eating healthy or just cleaning the house, it's one thing. But as a young lady, having a man to be there with you, it's like we have to comprehend that it's not going to be the same with like you deal with a woman who doesn't have sickle cell. There's going to be times of being down. You're home now, but you're still recovering. You need that time to refuel, re-energize. And if that love and support isn't really there, then the partner goes from being a benefit to becoming a burden. And that's when you just have to learn how to just let them go because it's not worth the headache. Now,
Honestly,
mhm,
and I feel like sometimes, like, in regards to people that I made, because I, like I said, I don't feel like I ever actually truly had a actual relationship where we are calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. I feel like sometimes, it never gets to that point because I be feeling like a burden to them. I be feeling like I just, like it's I'm not worth the extra work, and it hurts. It really does.
you're worth it. I'm gonna make sure I tell you that right now. You're worth it. I've been through that period. Just having to deal with women who I feel like I used to feel like I couldn't live up to certain things. But guess what? You're worth it. More than you know, more than they know. They're just too blind to see how great you are. So don't ever let them make you feel like that. You are a spectacular young woman. You're working, you're in school, you got your place, you're loving, you're caring, you're supportive. Don't let them ever take that away from you. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So last question about relationships, and I want to get into the sex topic a little bit deeper. Now, as a man, it sucks sometimes for me that I can't put in the work that I want to put in. Cause you go a little bit too hard, my back, my leg. Like I have put in that work, then went to the hospital and it sucks. Like, does having sickle cell affect your sex life?
Yes.
In what way?
Yes, it does. I can't do certain positions for too long because God forbid my hip. They're telling me that it's getting to the point where I'm getting I think it's avascular necrosis in my hip. My left hip is always hurting me. I can't do certain positions for too long. I can't overexert myself because I will end up in the hospital, and there have been times where I was having intercourse and I ended up in the hospital because it was just too much. And it's like sometimes it's like I don't even want to have sex. Like God forbid, like I end up in a hospital just because I'm trying to just have a little play. Like it's not worth it. And that's where it also goes into making sure you have a partner that understands that, because it's like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that just because you have sickle cell. Like, oh, it's not that deep, you'll be fine. Da, 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 da. No, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to hear that. So it's important to make sure that you have a partner that understands that and adheres to what it is you're saying, or not in the moment trying to do something where it's like you already stated it beforehand, and not trying to go against your wishes and your words. It's very important to have a partner that understands that not everything can be done, probably not this time around, but not everything needs to be over the grand beyond each and every time we have intercourse. It's very important to have a partner that understands that. Very, very important.
Now, is there anything you do specifically beforehand? Like, for example, I know for me, one, I drink water like crazy if I know I'm about to get
Yep.
busy. I'll make sure the environment is warm. I made that mistake before when I had sex in a place that was cold, and this was supposed to be on my road trip. I randomly I met a young lady, let's say, and things got great. But then because things got great, I was laid up in the hospital for a couple of days. I missed my entire trip. So, and I had told her, hey, it's a little cold in here, but being greedy, we still wanted to go and be the way we did it, and it was bad for me. So for me, is make sure I'm hydrated, make sure the place is warm. I'll even sometimes take an oxy before I have intercourse because I know this will help to minimize the pain afterwards. So would you say there are certain things that a young woman can do to help minimize potential risk of going into a crisis beforehand, or things they can do
Oh yeah,
afterwards to also help
definitely.
prevent that?
Definitely, I do those same exact things. I make sure I'm hydrated. I take ibuprofen. I take my ibuprofen and I take my prescribed my oxycodone before as well. Not every time, but I'd say probably 50% of the time I do. And I make sure that, it's not to the point where I'm in a certain position for too long, or even afterwards, like sometimes, like I'll make sure and I take a warm shower, just to, like, avoid that. I have these salon pass, they're patches with menthol and whatnot, kind of like, the icy hot, but I don't do the icy hot because it's cold and then hot. I don't do that, but it just, I'll put the patches on where I'm usually prone to having pain, just to, have that going on my body, working, just to, prevent me, being in extreme pain.
Well, okay.
Hmm.
So it's not just me. I thought I was the random one. Like, who pops a perk
No,
before you're about to go in?
no,
um,
no.
but
Mm-mm.
and it's quite an interesting story too. When I've entered into the hospital and the doctors ask, "So do you know why you're having a crisis now? Do you know what your trigger was?" Yep. What was it? Having sex. To see the look in their face sometimes, it's like it's funny and it's like, yeah. At the same time, like, how
Yeah.
did how does it make you feel emotionally when you have to express something like that?
I don't think I've ever told a doctor the reason why I was there was because I just say over exertion stress, because God, for like, I don't know, I feel like that would be like, you're here because you were having sex and now you're in pain. Like, I just, like, I've never, told the doctors that, because I already feel like they look at me one type of way. I'm not going to tell you I'm here because I was having sex and I ended up in a crisis. Mm-mm.
And
But yeah, I don't think I've ever. I'm trying to get out of the me being shy and me being afraid of letting people know, more so specifically medical providers, letting people know what it is so that they can treat me the best possible way that they can. I'm working on that.
and we're gonna have to use that in another episode, but that just goes to show some of the disparities that people feel. So it's sad that the people that we're supposed to be able to entrust here to us, that we have to tiptoe when speaking to them because of the stigmas they might have. Too often do sickle cell warriors and other patients have to sugarcoat or hide or say something else than what it really is to these providers because of their own biases that shouldn't even be in the workplace, because your job isn't here to judge me. Your job is here to help me at a moment in my life where I'm at some part of the lowest moments of my life and I need help right now. And it's sad that you have to tailor make your words to not have them look at you a certain type of way. But we're gonna work on
Hmm.
change that. The Love and Fashion, the Voice of Sickle Cell, we're working on connecting with these hospitals so we can get them to change a lot of the things that they're doing, from how they interact with patients, how they talk with patients. Because we should be able to go in there and feel comfortable telling them the truth without having to worry about any of their biases or stigmas. We're gonna work on that.
Definitely.
Now,
Yes.
for women out there, and I want to focus this on women transitioning from young women to grown women, from non-sexually active to sexually active, to women that have sickle cell. What are some words that you wish somebody would have told you when you were going through your transition, things that you wish that you knew that can help them potentially have an easier experience just facing life being a young woman?
Um, I wish I had somebody to tell me that instead of saying sex is bad, just saying, it's okay to wait. It's okay to wait until be friends first before when looking for a partner. Be establish that friendship first. Make sure that they are understanding of your condition, or like how things go for you when you're not feeling well, and make sure that they are able to be there for you in your time of need, rather just whenever they want to get their rocks off. Everything doesn't It's not a race. It's okay to wait, and just love yourself. Know that Make sure that you love yourself first before you try and go looking for love or a partner or just somebody to pass the time by. It's better to be lonely than having somebody who can't be there for you in all the aspects that you need them to be.
Love it, love it, love it. And all right, I know you had your most recent show, Students Bring Life. But what's next for you? What's a next achievement and something next that you're working? It doesn't have to be acting, it could be anything that you're accomplishing. What's the next great journey? I know you said you're working on passing your phlebotomist test and other things, but what's coming up soon for you?
I don't know. I guess we're just gonna have to tune in to Jordana's life, my videos, to find out. I'm not sure. I think me getting my apartment and currently in school, I think I'm like chilling right now.
Okay.
I feel like I'm chilling right now, but probably I'd like to be in another movie, but I could definitely say I'm definitely gonna create my YouTube channel. Hopefully by the end of the year I will have my YouTube channel, and I'll just, have more content coming out showing people my day-to-day life.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
There you guys go. Listen, I need all of you guys to support this wonderful young lady who is bringing awareness to sickle cell, who is besting sickle cell and not letting it best her. Support her. Understand that we are more than just a sickle cell that is in our bodies. We are living men and women who just want to be treated equally and with love and with fairness. This is Trey Lover from Love and Fashion, the GL Council. This is the voice of sickle cell. I want to thank you, Dana White, for being a part of this episode and sharing your experience. I know you said you're shy, but you did a fantastic job helping to educate some of our young ladies on what to expect. So thank you so much for being on this episode of Voices of Sickle Cell.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you next time.
Alrighty, later.
There was a point in time where I had doctors telling me that I was going to make it to 18. And thank you, Jesus, I'm 24 now. Like, it's real life. And I don't know if maybe because I'm in the age range that you guys probably be able to relate to me more, but it can literally be any one of you. It's not just sickle cell where people need blood. Traumatic accident, mothers giving birth, anything. It can be any one of us. So I just want you to know that it's very imperative to come out tomorrow and donate blood. If you are not of age, make sure you get your parents to sign your permission slip. And if you are of age, make sure you come down here because one kind of blood can save up to how many lives? Okay. One kind of blood can save up to how many lives? Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Take care. God bless.
Cause we do it for the love.